Barbosa, or Frederick I? On your whiteboard, please tell me what is, give me one invention that is going to increase food production in Europe. Give me one invention that is going to increase food production. Good. Give me one. Anisha. Give me another one, Bronson. Horse collars. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the name of the ruling class of France? Who are the give me the name of the ruling class of France. Who are they? Daniel. Capetians. On your whiteboard, please tell me the first trade union in the history of the world. It is trading with Scandinavia, Germany, and Poland. Adi, who is it? On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the code of conduct for nobles? It is going to be the social code for feudalism. What is it, Munson? Chivalry. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is going to transform the economy in the Middle Ages. It is when craftsmen work together to secure their economy. Good. Dylan, who is it? Guilds. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is, who is starting schools in the Middle Ages? Who is starting schools in the Middle Ages? Good. Who's doing it, Payne?
Catholics.
Catholics. On your, who can raise your hand and tell me why are Catholics opening schools? Why, Ryan? So people can read the Bible. Okay. Who can tell me on your whiteboard what social class is the most educated? Good, Alex. Middle class. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the name of the gentleman who calls for the Crusades? What's the name of the Pope who calls for the Crusades? Did we get to this yesterday? Yes. Who is it, Caroline? Pope Urban II calls for the Crusades. That's what we'll pick up because that was a dicey one. All right, here we go. So Pope Urban II is going to call for the liberation of Jerusalem. Listen for 2 seconds. Okay? Jerusalem is a Christian city because it's controlled by what empire before the Muslims take it over? Who can raise your hand and tell me what empire controls it before the Muslims take it over? Grishma. Byzantines. Think about it logically. It makes sense. It has to be the Byzantines. They're Christians. So the Muslims come in and take them over. Okay, Jerusalem falls to them. Then Pope Urban II says, you know, if you're a Christian, you got to go to fight for the Christian city. This is where Jesus died, blah, blah, blah. And so people get called to arms and they walk their way to Jerusalem, or they sail from Venice, which is going to be a big deal. Their big quote is, God wills it, which is personally amazing. Okay, so the First Crusade. Please write down the only successful crusade for Christians. So the Muslims take the city. Christians from all over Europe come, fight for the city, and they take Jerusalem back. So Christian city, Muslim city, Christian city again. They're going to hold it for quite some time. So for 3 years they fight. They conquer the city. Okay. Salah ad-Din, which you need to know his name. Salah ad-Din is going to recapture Jerusalem. So, Jerusalem starts as a Christian city, falls to a Muslim city. The First Crusade makes it a Christian city again. And then a guy named Salah ad-Din, who is a Muslim man, is going to retake the city. After this First Crusade, Salah ad-Din conquers it. It will never go back to a Christian city. Ever again. Okay, today, what is it? Technically, it's a what? It's a Jewish city now. Why? What country is it in? Jerusalem is not a country. It's in what city, Jamal? Country. Yes, it's in Israel. So it's a Jewish city technically today, even though all people are welcome. Okay, so Salah ad-Din is a very big deal. He is an incredible credible military man, reconquers the city. Very peaceful man. He's going to open the city to all faiths. Write that down. When the Christians take the city in the First Crusade, any Muslims still inside the city are going to be hung, gutted, and flipped outside the wall where they will dangle there for 180 days. So, are Christians looking good on this one? No. So, when the Muslim city when Jerusalem falls from a Christian city and turns back to a Muslim city under Salah ad-Din, he refuses to destroy the city and kill all the Christians. He just asks them all to leave. Okay? He asks them all to leave because there's a lot of sabotage. He's a pretty awesome guy. Okay? So, if Christians never get the city back, is the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th Crusade successful? No. You don't need to know about all the Crusades, but you do need to know a couple of them. Okay? So, there's going to be 5 major ones, 2 minor ones, which is how you get there. The 4th Crusade, you need to write this down. Crusaders, so if they're called Crusaders, what religion are they? They're Christians. Crusaders invade Constantinople and raid the city. So who is killing people in Constantinople? Christians. And if the city is Constantinople, what religion is the city? So, 4th Crusade, it's Christians killing Christians in Constantinople. Is that going to weaken the city or strengthen the city? Weaken the city. So, is it going to make it easier for the Muslims to conquer the city? Yes. Okay, so, 4th Crusade, Crusaders destroy Constantinople. 3rd Crusade, 4th Crusade, all the other Crusades, the Muslims just secure more territory. They secure more territory. They become more dug into the territory. And today, could you imagine trying to eradicate Muslims from the Holy Land? Hello? No, absolutely not. And the reason is because of how successful they were during the Crusades. Zach?
But why did 4th Crusaders attack Constantinople?
Oh, because they ran out of money. So they were like, yes, let's go raid them. They got a bunch of gold. It's greed. I don't know if you know this, Zach, but humans are naturally greedy.
Yeah.
You figured it out? Cool. All right, here we go. So, congratulations. We're going to America. So, realign your headings. That's it for the Crusades. I hope you enjoyed them. All right, so, listen up. All you got to do is listen for right here. So, societies, no one is in America except for Americans, correct? No one is crossing the ocean until we get to 4. Next week, we're doing Expanding Horizons, so people are getting the technology in order to do it. It's only 1 chapter next week. Yeah, you can smile about that. It's pretty exciting. Okay? So with that being said, this week, everyone's still in isolation. It's important that you know that. Mesoamerica is actually thriving. There's a lot of war and stuff going on. So the Toltecs, you need to write down the name Toltecs. It's very minimal. Okay? So the Toltecs, we've been talking about them, though. They've been around for quite some time. Okay? So the Toltecs are in Central America. Okay? And they are going to die out because of internal problems. Conflicts. That's all you need to know. Okay? So they are pre-Mexica or pre-Aztec. So the Mexica are a big deal. You need to write this down. So the Mexica, in parentheses, I would write Aztecs. Okay? They take what the Toltecs did, which is why we talked about the Toltecs. Why I mentioned it like incredibly briefly. They take the Toltecs and they bump up their game. Okay? That's the only reason why you really need to know the Toltecs. So the Aztecs or the Mexica are also in Central Mexico. Okay? They have an amazing tradition of kidnapping women. So got to celebrate that. And seizing cultivated land. Eventually they're going to settle in Tea City, which you do need to write that down. Okay? Now, the whole lore of Tea City is they sent their best warriors into the desert to find the new location of their hometown. The gods spoke to them. When you see an eagle eating a snake in a cactus, that'll be the location. So they travel around for like 9 months looking to find an eagle in a cactus eating a snake. And they found one next to the swamp in the middle of central Mexico. So they found the swamp and they were like, damn it. It's a swamp, man. So, but guess where they build their city? On the swamp, which is modern-day Mexico City, which is no longer has a swamp or a lake at all. Okay? What is the flag of Mexico? It is a what, Callie? It's a what? Diana? Cactus. Yeah. The foundation of like Mexican society is the Aztecs and stuff like that. So they're going to do that. They're going to dredge soil from the bottom of the lake, create fertile plots of land. Champañas is a very big deal, ladies and gentlemen, because nowhere else in the world are they doing agriculture in this type of setting. And T-City is going to be the largest city in the world with the largest population. So are they successful or unsuccessful? Very successful. So the Aztec Empire, the Mexica are the Aztecs. The Aztec Empire is going to create a tributary system. What is a tributary system? What is a tributary system? Munson. What's a tributary system? We've talked about them in China. You're going to have them out. What's a tributary system? What do you got, Payne?
Subject people pay money.
Yes! If I conquer you, I'm like, I'll let you live if you pay me. And you give me $20 every year for letting you live. Tributary. That's how it works. You need to know that that's one of the identifying factors of the Aztecs. That's why they get to be as big as they are. They have a massive tributary system. They also have the best military the Americas has ever seen to this point. Okay, we have two major leaders, Montezuma, which you should have heard by now. Yes, Montezuma the First. Have you ever heard of Montezuma's Revenge? Yeah? No? If you drink Mexican tap water, you get Montezuma's Revenge. Okay, it's because like us Americans aren't used to the bacteria in the water in Mexico because the water isn't as purified as our water, and so we get really sick. Anyone ever get sick in Mexico? Yeah, it's called Montezuma's Revenge. Did they tell that to you? Anytime a white person shows up in Mexico and gets sick, they call him Montezuma's Revenge. The reason is because Montezuma is the last king, last emperor of the Aztecs, by the way. So if he's the last emperor of the Aztec, who arrived under his watch? The Spanish arrived. You need to know Montezuma is the last of the last of the Aztec leader. Okay, so the Toltecs and the Aztec empires, they are overlapping. They influence each other. So Mexican society, Mexica, remember, are the Aztecs. It's a hierarchical social structure. At the top is the emperor. I'd write this down because it's referenceable. So, Aztecs. Okay, at the top you have the emperor. Then you have your priests, which is a very large class of people. It is incredibly large. Then you have your merchants. And then you have your normies, your normal people like you and I. And then you have your slaves. Okay? So, but the most interesting layer is that the Aztecs priest layer is huge. Why is it huge? Why do you think it's huge? Do you think religion's important or not important? Do you think the religion supports the government? That's why it's so big, because the government is the religion is the government. So it's an easy way to remember it. You have a bunch of cool stuff. Mexican women, it's all patriarchal. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone in the room, correct? Men are in charge. Childbearing, the best thing you can do as an Aztec woman is give birth to Aztec babies. Okay? If your son, ladies, if you die giving birth to a son, you're celebrated like a warrior. And ladies, if you die giving birth to a girl, they're just thrown into the pit. It's not that exciting. Sorry, is that disappointing to you? It's not that big of a deal. If you're giving birth to a boy, you're celebrated like a war hero. Priests, okay, they are in charge of everything. It is a polytheistic society. I would write that down. It's a polytheistic religion. Okay, so a lot of your priests are going to be heavily influential. They're the ones doing the omens. They're the ones doing the agriculture and the ritual schedules, which are super, super intense. And they're advisors. So, communal groups. Calipuli, you do need to write down, is the foundation of society for the Aztecs. Okay? It's a management of communal lands. Everyone works together, and that's how they get it. It's an obligation. So Calipuli is the feudalistic society of the Aztecs. That's how I would break it down. You have slaves, they're debtors, and their children. Can you imagine how bad you must have to be for your parents to sell you into slavery? Or how annoying you must be to get sold into slavery as a child? Okay, so the Mexica religion, which of course is the foundation of everything, is polytheistic. It's based on the Olmecs, and they have a ritual ball game. I don't know why people care about it. They would have warriors that they kidnap from other people come together. They would play a game. If you won, you lived. If you lost, you died. Ta-da. There you go. All right, to the board. Here we go. On your whiteboard, please tell me the Aztecs are built on what society's footprints? Aztecs are built on what society's footprints? Good. Abby. Toltecs, on your whiteboard, please tell me what is the name of the capital city of the Aztecs? You need to be able to identify it if you see it written down, so you need to write it out. What is it? Walker. Yeah, sure. Sounds good to me. Yeah. On your whiteboard, please tell me the the Aztec religion comes from what society? The Aztec religion is based off of what society? Good. Jing Hao. Olmecs. Did you get it, Callie? Yeah. On your whiteboard, what is the name of the farming system of the Aztecs? Good. Reina. Chinapas, guys, you just need to know that because it's super unique. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the name of the social structure or the feudalistic system, government structure outside of. Good. Patrick.
Oh.
Sounds good to me. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the name of. That's good. All right, we gotta go because we got a bunch of stuff we gotta do. Okay, so the Mexica religion or Aztec. Okay, it's polytheistic. The biggest one you need to know, ladies and gentlemen, don't write everything down. The biggest one you need to know is H God. However you want to even attempt to say that, do you? That's the big one. It's patron of Mexica, emphasis on blood sacrifices. I would just write that whole thing down. That's the sun god, ladies and gentlemen. So it's important for its agriculture, and it's important for everything. They do blood sacrifices. What does that mean? What does it mean, Walker?
Yeah.
Blood. Yes! We're going to kill him. Yes. So exciting. I love the Aztecs, man. I love them. All right, so ritual bloodletting. Anytime you see ritual bloodletting, they're killing people, Greta. They're killing people for religion, and it's awesome. So what you need to know is that historically in the Americas, we've had bloodletting occur. The Aztecs do it on a much grander scale. That's what you need to know for that. Okay? Originally, we're just going to chop off fingers, toes, legs, arms. People could live. When you see bloodletting, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to die. Human sacrifices, they get killed. Human bloodletting, they just cut things off in order to sacrifice for the gods. Obviously, are we doing this to aristocrats? Hello? No, we're doing it to criminals. We're doing it to captured enemy and all that stuff. Okay, we've all this different stuff. So, the coolest thing you need to know is that they have a temple in the middle of Tea City, and they are going to do major of their blood sacrifices, which is the killing. How the Aztecs kill, last year was on the test, and we're just going to tell you real quick. I don't think you're going to have to write it down because it's pretty gruesome. You walk all the way up this massive temple, this pyramid kind of thing that has steps in the front and a slide on the back. You lie down on the table. 4 priests hold you down. 1 priest takes his knife, cuts into your heart. Okay? Cuts into your heart. No, just kidding. Sorry. Got to the heart too quick. So, what they do is they flip you over after they do the blessing. They pull your head back and they cut your throat while your heart's still beating. Why? Drain you. Yeah, you drain. It drains all your blood because your heart's still beating. So it's like gets down. Well, your head is being pointed towards the slide. So what are you doing? Yes, you're going down in your own blood. So once they drain you of blood, they flip you over and you cut out your heart. They leave the heart on the top. Hello, Miss Bennett. No problem. Walk her in the main office. So they cut out the heart, they leave it on the top, and as soon as they're done with your body, guess what they do? They slide you down the slide. When the Spanish started killing the Aztecs in major numbers, they sacrificed 800 people in one day. Imagine the smell. Because they don't wash the blood. Why don't they wash the blood? That's the reason why they do the sacrifices, because they need the blood. The more blood sacrifice there is, the better it is. So what would happen if Bronson is going to worship that day and he's like, oh man, he would go and touch the blood and bless himself and be covered in blood because he had a rough day. He needs a little help from the gods, right, Bronson? So he just goes to a natural, like a ritual human sacrifice, grabs some blood, and he's like, all right, I'm ready for my date tonight. I've got the God's blessing, right, Bronson? Is that your normal routine? Yeah. Absolutely, man. It's pretty cool. All right. So that's your Aztecs. We'll come back to the Aztecs. Obviously, why are we coming back to the Aztecs later? Spanish are going to arrive, of course. So the Aztecs are doing their own thing. Up north, you have the just listen. Just right up north. Okay? You have the Pueblo Indians. Pueblo Indians are where? Oh my God, people. What the hell did you people learn in elementary school? Did you not learn your Native Americans? That is more recent than my 4th grade learning of the Pueblo. The Pueblo Indians are in the southwest, ladies and gentlemen, of the United States. They live in like these little square buildings, yeah? Cut into the rock, made out of clay. Okay. Navajo, okay? They're doing maize farming. Why maize? Every American society bases their entire diet on maize, okay? Iroquois are going to be in Mississippi, okay? They're the mound builder. They're not the mound builders. We got mound builders near St. Louis. We don't know anything about them, hence why we call them mound builders. We don't know much. Trade, okay. Put a star. We know that American civilizations are trading with one another. That's all you need to know. We know the Aztec. We see Aztec goods up in the mound builders. We see Navajo goods with the Aztecs. We know they're trading. That's all you need to do. They're using that. South America is now where we are. That's all you need to know. Okay? There's no writing before the Spanish, of course. Okay? So we have Samoanian civilizations. Okay, so we've talked about the Chavin, which is period 1. We've talked about the Mochi, or the Mocha state. Okay, we have a couple other people pre-Incan, which are going to lay the foundation, but the Incan civilization is the biggest, so write down Incans. They are a huge deal, and they're very cool. They are in the valley of Cuzco. Who here has ever seen that terrible Disney movie about the Incans? Huh? Yeah, Emperor's New Groove is about the Incans. Did you know that? Yeah. Emperor's New Groove or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about them. Cusco, isn't that the emperor's name, or the donkeys or something? Anyway, that's why, because it's there. All right. Rula Pachuti is a name you need to be familiar with. He is going to be the one who expands the Inca into the Incan state. He's going to have 11.5 million people under his command. Is this a big deal or a little deal? Huge, absolutely. They're going to conquer most of the never-eat west coast of South America. Okay? So, as you can see, it's a massive territory. They're in the Andean Mountains. Okay? So, cool things about the Incans. First of all, they rule by holding hostages. That's pretty effective. Okay? It's pretty effective. If Carlota and her clan won't follow my rule, I just kidnap all of the people Carlota loves and hold them hostage. Pretty effective. Okay? There's no writing system, but they use the Quipu. You do need to know this. I'm pretty sure it's a test question on there. Okay? It's a system of chords and knots that do numbers. That's how they count. Instead of an abacus, like you've heard about in China, yes? Abacus, isn't that how you say it? Abacus. Okay? You have a Quipu, which is pretty cool. So mnemonic aid helps them remember how much they're counting and stuff like that, because they don't have a writing system. So they just have all that stuff. Cuzco is going to be your capital. We've got gold facades on the building. So, is gold valuable? It's pretty valuable. It must be pretty abundant. Can we agree? If they're putting it on gold, do you have gold on your buildings? No, I have no gold in my house. Okay, so the Incan roads, this is what they're known for. Put a nice big star next to it. The Incan road system is what they are known for. Massive road building system. Okay, they have a mountain route and a coastal route. So is it organized or disorganized? It's very organized. Everything is paved, shaded, and has wide enough roads 2 wagons can go at the same time. So, is the government effective or ineffective? It's a very effective government. Do they have plenty of money or not enough money? Plenty of money. These are the things you should be seeing and being able to derive just from knowing facts about things. They have a courier system, which means they're carrying mail, and they have long-distance trade. The government controls everything. Put a nice big star next to that because we're going to talk about how they control everything. The government controls everything. Okay, so social elites are going to be following a king. The king can't do no wrong. King is descendant from the sun. Could you imagine people thinking you're like a descendant of the sun? Like, that's pretty cool. Worship of ancestors, of course. We got mummification, which is pretty boss. We've got sacrifices, parade, all that stuff. All right, peasants. You do need to know that peasant system is AYLLU. Please write that down. You do need that. That's your peasant system. Lands held communally. What does that mean? We talked about with the Aztecs. What does that mean, though? Hello? Is there any private landowning? No, there's no private landowning. Everyone works the land together. Mandatory work details on land of the aristocrats and public works project. What is it called when you are forced to work the government land? Conscripted labor. We've got conscripted labor here in the Incan state. You are required to work the land of government officials. You are required to work the land of public works projects. So who is building all the roads, ladies and gentlemen? Conscripted labor. Okay, so if you have a conscripted labor state, is your government organized or disorganized? It's incredibly organized. Why does it have to be incredibly organized? Why does the government have to be incredibly organized to have a conscripted labor state? Oh my God, guys. Hi. If you are in my government and I'm doing a conscripted labor state, but I only make these 5 people do conscripted labor, and I don't make any of you do any conscripted labor, is my conscripted labor state effective? No, because I'm only using 5% of my population, not 100% of my population, correct? So if you're going to have a conscripted labor state, guess what you have to be really effective with? Government bureaucracy, correct? You have to have people out there counting, making sure the work gets done. Because if I could go and tell these 3 ladies to go outside and start picking weeds for me, someone has to be there doing what? Supervising, which takes a government job to sit there and say, oh, you did it for 4 hours. Thank you very much, Carlota. You did a terrible job picking weeds. Terrible job. But thank you for doing your service. Okay. Incan religion. Inti is the sun god. Don't really worry about it. Just listen. It's polytheistic. Okay, they have peasant sacrifices, usually produce and animals, so they would do sacrifices like that. There you go. Oceania. Write Oceania down. First of all, you have people arriving in Australia during period 3. I would write that down. That's like the only thing you need to know. Period 3, we have people going to Australia for the first time. There's no agriculture in Australia until the English show up in period 5. They're living off the land. They're nomadic at this point. New Guinea, we got pigs. That's about it. I don't know how much you really want to write down. Small-scale trade of food. They like pearly oyster shells, spears, and boomerangs. Okay, cultural and religious traditions. There's no... I really hate talking about Oceania. They are trading amongst our islands. Write that down. Okay, voyages, long-distance voyages. Please write that down. Someone brings sweet potatoes from South America. So that's pretty cool. So that tells us they're traveling, correct? And they're preserved in oral traditions. We all have seen Moana at this point, correct? Okay, same type of thing. Think of that when you think about Oceania. Fish ponds. Have you ever seen an island with center is like a massive like lagoon? Most of those lagoons are human-made. Why? Why do people build lagoons? Why, Alex? Well, yeah. What can you put in a lagoon? Fish. Guys, if you catch a ton of fish and you put them in the lagoon, if you catch a bunch of fish and you kill them, you have to eat them really quickly, correct? Because fish really rot really fast, especially if you don't cut off their heads. Okay? If you put them in the lagoon and they live, guess what? They can live for years and years and years, and then they're going to reproduce. So your 5 fish are now going to be 15 fish, or like 70 fish, or 1,000 fish. I don't know how much they reproduce. I don't really keep track on that stuff. So lagoons are human-made. Okay, we got cannibalism. What is cannibalism? What is cannibalism? Anisha! People are eating people! Yes! Why do you think people are eating people, Peyton?
There's such population growth that they don't have enough food to feed everyone.
I would write that down. Cannibalism occurs because there's not that much food on the islands. So people start, I wonder how that decision starts. So awkward. We've run out of food. Do you start with the babies? Or do you start with the old people? I don't like old meat. Do you like old meat?
Babies still have enough meat.
Well, maybe, fine. We're not going to take like the 6-month-old ones, but like little toddlers are so annoying. Do you start with them? How do I sleep at night?
Yeah, like,
Oh, just fine. But like these are the things. Like cannibalism is a real thing. How did they decide? I don't know.
There's not much meat to eat on a baby.
So what are you saying? We're gonna pick like the grown women to? That is just Steve, man. Tough day, Steve. But thanks for your sacrifice. Do they turn the like barbecue stick? Well, all right. So, how do you think they make the decision there, Munson? How do you think they make the decision? Do you think they eat like people or they capture people and eat them? I would think capture, don't you think?
There's like a spiritual aspect to it.
Yeah, there is. I mean, it's a human sacrifice and stuff like that. There's definitely a component, but who gets to decide? We don't really have that much information.
I watched a document. They still eat people in the beginning.
Yeah, they do.
It's crazy. Like,
Imagine when the Europeans start showing up in period 4, late 4, early 5, and they just have like a person on like a barbecue spit. You got like a
Here's how it works.
like,
One
oh my
guy
god.
is 6 machete, throws it in a group of people, and whoever it lands on, that's who we're eating.
No, eat the criminals.
I mean, but it is. There's a whole religious component to it. There is a whole sacrifice component to it. People are literally starving to death. Ladies and gentlemen, if you had a couple little kids looking at you that are your flesh and blood saying, we're hungry, and they're literally starving to death, you'd probably do whatever it takes to feed them, correct? There's just not that much food. Think about being stranded on an island. Is that really a goal you have? No, because there's not that much food on those damn islands. How many coconuts can you really eat? So when the population starts booming because of sweet potatoes, population swells, and there's just not enough food to feed them. So they have to turn to alternative ways. Imagine having to watch your kids starve to death, and that's the big problem. So, complexity. You got high chiefs, lesser chief, commoners, artisans, peasants. Is it a structured society? Yes. Okay. You have multi-island empires. Obviously, we saw how many islands there are, just big enough that we could do a map on it. So there's tons of multi-island. Polynesians are pretty cool. They have gods of war. Okay. That's it. That's all I got for Oceania. Perfect timing. All right. Tomorrow's test. Good luck. I'm done. Nice.